Number 6, we got Yeezy. So now, as controversial and outspoken, and Kanye being Kanye, and I miss the old Kanye, and the runner for president, Mr. West gave us an immense and some of the most influential music to this day. He totally dominated the early 2000s in a way that kind of shaped the new school of hip-hop. While things were turning more trap and the South was moving in, he still kept the soul of hip-hop alive with the soul music he made off of the soul samples in this new age of music. Some even went as far to call chipmunk soul because of how he sped up a lot of the samples but kept the vocals in. Not only that, Kanye would end up making it okay to not be gangster or a thug or a pimp. Like, it was okay to have regular life problems that the average college kid will go through, like trying to show off your champagne taste on a Kool-Aid budget. You know, the attention was going away from the hard life of crack dealers to more of a party life with relationships and prerequisites. Regular stuff. You know what I'm saying? This new mainstream became the framework for artists like Drake, Travis Scott, Nicki Minaj, who all credit Kanye's influence on the game to make them feel like it's okay just to be them. You know, and that was the part that resonated with me the most over time. At first, I merely recognized Ye's music as dope and extremely playable. He got spins at every club I was going to, and his story was closely attached to his art. As I listened to the music, over the years, I realized that every major event in his life became his next album. Lightning Bolt, right? Even how he had his come up, which was well documented in the 3-part documentary Genius. So I'm not gonna go into that. But the path he traveled was similar to most, but most of them had to compromise some part of their art. He stuck to his guns at that point, and when he finally got a chance to display his art full steam ahead, it changed things. You know, being he was signed to Rockefeller, you know, it gave him instant credibility, and his name was buzzing from the production on Jay-Z's Rock La Familia project and The Blueprint. He quickly became one of the most sought-out producers this side of the Neptunes during that time. But he would always tell folks he only made beats so that he could rhyme over them. Who knew he had the artistry and creativity to make songs that would become timeless track? He's been nominated for 75 Grammys and won 24, but his run of albums was crazy too. College Dropout, When Plat Early, currently sitting at 4 times Plat, gave us joints like All Falls Down, Through the Wire, Jesus Walks, Slow Jams, 2 Words, and others. Won a Grammy for Best Rap Album, Late Registration, Triple Plat Early, currently sitting at 6. Gave us joints like Drive Slow. I like the remix better than the original joint, but Drive Slow is a dope joint. Gold Digger, Touch the Sky, We Major, one of my favorite joints, and more. I won a Grammy for Best Rap Album. Graduation, 5 times Plat off break. Gave us joints like Champion, Good Life, Can't Tell Me Nothing, Barry Bonds, another one of my sneaky favorites, and Flashing Lights. You like that Barry Bonds, right, Mike? That joint rock. Oh yeah, another Grammy and the AMA Awards for Best Rap Album. 808s and Heartbreaks, Triple Plat, and continued to venture into the electric dance side and auto-tune with joints like Heartless and Love Lockdown. This was an album that was like, you know, direct response to his mom passing away. And some would say that this wasn't his greatest effort, but you know, who am I to judge? Moving on to what I think was his best album, My Dark Twisted Fantasy. #1 on Billboard's, Triple Plat out the gate, won 3 Grammys, and held bangers like Power, Dark Fantasy, All of the Lights, Devil in a New Dress, another one of my sneaky favorites, and Monster. Yo, I'm telling you, sneaky favorites everywhere, yo. Ye regained his positioning with this album. Next up, Watch the Throne with Jay-Z, which was a certified classic. Otis, Paris, and No Church in the Wild all won Grammys. This was Ye's 5th #1 album and currently 4 times Plat. And this one has some joints, obviously, the 3 that got Grammys, Gotta Have It, New Day, Made in America, Illest Mofo Alive, Ham, and The Joy. And I'm not done yet. Now also, we have to make mention, I can't forget this because there was huge talk about Kanye's pen being questionable, especially on that Watch the Throne project with Jay-Z. Reports are that Sci-Hi the Prince was 80% of those bars on there. And if you haven't linked up Sci-Hi the Prince, I recommend you do. He's one of the most underrated, talented lyricists of this generation right now. By now, he's already formed good music, and after that, he drops probably my favorite album of his, Yeezus. Some say that this was one of his most successfully experimental albums, headlining with tracks like Black Skinhead, New Slave, Blood on the Leaves, I'm In It, and Bound To. To me, this marked the beginning of the new Kanye that we know and most despised by some people. In his last really good albums, we started seeing signs of his evolution of thought and perspective once he made that song, I Am a God. A lot of people weren't ready for this hard dose of change he was exhibiting. And at first, I was feeling like the masses calling him a little crazy and all, but some of the concepts he speaks on about free thought, I do align with, all right? I don't understand everything he speaks about, but I do recognize his style of approach as far as the mindset and leading with love. I do get that part of it. The Life of Pablo had a few joints on it, like Father, I Stretch My Hand and Famous, and No More Parties in LA. I think that was it. Still went double plat, so who's really complaining, right? After that, he had more controversy with the whole slavery was a choice, but he still had the attention of most through his fashion ventures and gave the world the Yeezy boost in 2015. And since then, his spot in the culture has been more than cemented 2 times over. And his fiscal power exponentially grew to the Billionaire Boys Club. Outside of that, he gave us a gospel album with Jesus is King, and then the Presidential Candidate run. Then the Ode to His Moms with Donda album, which was his record-time 10th chart-topping debut. The song Life of the Party was probably the best song on there, with the help of 3 Stacks. And he introduced the STEM feature to the masses, which is normally a common knowledge of any up-to-date DJ too. Cool. Overall, Ye has contributed to the culture in multiple facets, which earns him a spot in the top 10.
It's right here, all right?